everyone. My name is Julianne Gibson, and with me is Kyra English. We're here today to tell you about gopher tortoise detection methods.
Gopher tortoises are considered a keystone species because they dig deep burrows that provide shelter for a variety of other animals. They're also listed as threatened in Florida and must be relocated before the development of land occurs. The standard method to detect their presence is currently walking line transects. However, the problem we'll be discussing is that an incredible amount of effort is required to detect individuals from low-density populations by walking transects over vast distances. So, we will also be evaluating 3 alternative methods: flying line transects with UAVs, camera traps, and detection dogs. Each detection method will be assessed based on ease, cost, and effectiveness. The first method, walking line transects, involves simply walking the length of a transect and recording observations of tortoises or active burrows. One advantage of this method is that it's less expensive than the others because it doesn't require pricey equipment or hiring of detection dogs. In one study comparing the use of human teams and detection dogs, human teams cost $3,000 less per square kilometer, or 60% less overall. It's also considered to be a reliable method and is the current standard in the field. However, this method has been found to be less effective for detecting gopher tortoises concealed by shrubs compared to using detection dogs. It was also found to be far more time-consuming than other methods. In fact, one study reported that detection dogs finished daily surveys in about 66% of the time humans did. This method also requires a substantial amount of man-hours since multiple surveyors are often required.
The next method entails flying line transects with unmanned aerial vehicles, also referred to as UAVs or drones, rather than walking them. UAVs are a form of aircraft which is unmanned and controlled by a ground-based pilot. For this method, rotary UAVs are utilized and equipped with cameras. The first advantage to this method is that UAVs can cover a significant distance in a short period of time. UAVs have an average flight time of 10 minutes per battery and covered around 1,220 meters in this time. In comparison, in one gopher tortoise study, around 1,020 meters of line transects were completed by walking per day. The next advantage is that photographs or video footage is taken as the transect is flown. Photographs allow us to detect after the fact, as well as review and affirm detections. This further decreases time spent in the field. The final disadvantage for this method is that the presence of dense vegetation can be problematic by reducing visibility and increasing the risk of crashes.
The third method, camera traps, involves setting up passive infrared cameras throughout the area of interest. These cameras are triggered when an animal with a different surface temperature as its surroundings moves through the detection zone. As a passive method, this will not cause stress or harm to gopher tortoises like humans or a detection dog might. The installment of cameras is also far less labor-intensive than other methods, and they can remain in the field for long periods of time and function under many weather conditions. However, this method may not detect gopher tortoises as effectively because they're cold-blooded and their external temperature differs little from their environment. One modification to combat this issue is the placement of an artificial surface on the ground that warms to a higher temperature than its surroundings in order to create temperature contrast.
The next method we will be discussing is conservation dogs. In this method, the detection dog searches transects with its handler and a biologist following behind. Upon detection of a tortoise, the conservation dog alerts the handler and the biologist takes note. The first advantage to this method is that dogs can cover land in a more efficient manner. In the figure, B and C represent 2 different search strategies in which dogs quickly cover an area, with C being utilized in difficult terrain, whereas A represents the inefficient human search style. The next advantage of this method is that dogs have been found to be adept at detecting tortoises in situations in which humans struggle, such as with small juvenile tortoises, tortoises located around dense vegetation, and tortoises located within burrows. The most significant drawback to this method is that it is highly expensive, with one study reporting their use of conservation dogs costed around $500 a day, while another reported that they paid approximately €100 per hectare. Our recommendation is that for now, based upon the current evidence, walking transects be utilized. However, we implore scientists to continue researching the application of UAVs and conservation dogs for detection of chelonians. In the future, we recommend pilot studies on the use of UAVs for gopher tortoise detection, as well as larger studies with more consistent methods in search style, training level, and experience for the use of conservation detection dogs. Lastly, we recommend that all methods be used in conjunction with a healthy prescribed fire cycle.
We'd like to thank the researchers whose work made this project possible, and we appreciate you taking the time to watch our video today. We'd also love to hear any feedback or questions you have in the comments.